Romanization of Greek is the transliteration or transcription of text from the Greek alphabet into the Latin alphabet. The conventions for writing and romanizing ancient Greek and modern Greek differ markedly, which can create confusion. The sound of the English letter B was written as beta in ancient Greek but is now written as the digraph mu pi, while the modern beta sounds like the English letter V instead. The Greek name omega alpha nu eta sigma became Ioannis in Latin and then John in English, but in Greek itself has instead become gamma iota alpha nu eta sigma. This might be written as Yannis, Yanni, Yanni, Ioannis, Giannis, or Yannis, but not Jana Jan as it would have been in ancient Greek. The masculine Greek word gamma iota omicron sigma or alpha gamma iota omicron sigma might variously appear as hagiomicron sis agios or yeos, or simply be translated as holy or saint in English forms of Greek place names. Traditional English renderings of Greek names originated from Roman systems established in antiquity. The Roman alphabet itself was a form of the commune alphabet derived from the Euboean script that valued x as k's and eta as per hour, and used variant forms of lambda and sigma that became L and S. When this script was used to write the classical Greek alphabet, kappa was replaced with C, alpha iota and omicron iota became A and O, and epsilon iota and omicron upsilon were simplified to I and U. Sounds with rough breathing like theta, phi, initial rho, and chi simply wrote out the sound th, ph, rh, and ch. Because English orthography has changed so much from the original Greek, modern scholarly transliteration now usually renders kappa as k and the diphthongs alpha iota, omicron iota, epsilon iota, omicron epsilon as un, oi, a, ow. Modern scholars also increasingly render chi as kh. The sounds of modern Greek have diverged from both those of ancient Greek and the descendant letters in English and other languages. This led to a variety of romanizations for names and place names in the 19th and 20th century. The Hellenic Organization for Standardization issued its system in cooperation with the International Organization for Standardization in 1983. This system was adopted by the United Nations Fifth Conference on the Standardization of Geographical Names at Montreal in 1987, by the United Kingdom's Permanent Committee on Geographical Names for British official use and by the United States' Board on Geographic Names in 1996, and by the ISO itself in 1997. Romanization of names for official purposes were required to use the ELOT system within Greece until 2011, when a legal decision permitted Greeks to use irregular forms provided that official identification and documents also list the standard forms. Other romanization systems still encountered are the BGN, PCGN's earlier 1962 system and the system employed by the American Library Association and the United States' Library of Congress. Greeklish has also spread within Greece itself owing to the rapid spread of digital telephony from cultures using the Latin alphabet. Since Greek typefaces and fonts are not always supported, a robust Greek email and chatting has adopted a variety of formats for rendering Greek and Greek shorthand using Latin letters. Examples include 8LO and THELW for theta epsilon lambda omega, 3 ava for Xi alpha nu alpha, and UXi for psi epsilon iota. Tables. The following tables list several romanization schemes from the Greek alphabet to modern English. For the romanization of Greek and other languages, see the corresponding articles in our sister wikis, such as Romanization Greek on the French Wikipedia. Note, however, that the ELOT, UN, and ISO formats for modern Greek intend themselves as translingual and may be applied in any language using the Latin alphabet. Ancient Greek. The American Library Association and Library of Congress romanization scheme employs its ancient or medieval Greek system for all works and authors up to the fall of Constantinople in 1453. Although Byzantine Greek was pronounced distinctly, and some have considered modern Greek to have begun as early as the 12th century, for treatment of polytonic Greek letters, for example, also see the section on romanizing Greek diacritical marks below. Modern Greek, the ISO, UN, and Greek, British, and American governments have all approved an essentially equivalent standard for transcription of modern Greek into Latin letters. There remain minor differences in how they approach reversible transliteration. The American Library Association and Library of Congress romanization scheme employs its modern Greek system for all works and authors following the fall of Constantinople in 1453, for treatment of accents and diacritics, for example, iota. Also see the section on romanizing Greek diacritical marks below. Note that adjacent vowels, including an accent over the first letter or a diacritic over the second letter, are not a digraph and should be romanized separately. Diacritical marks. The traditional polytonic orthography of Greek uses several distinct diacritical marks to render what was originally the pitch accent of ancient Greek and the presence or absence of word initial per hour. In 1982, monotonic orthography was officially introduced for modern Greek. The only diacritics that remain are the acute accent and the diacritic. When a Greek diphthong is accented, the accent mark is placed over the second letter of the pair. This means that an accent over the first letter of the pair indicates vowels which should be taken separately, although the second vowel is not marked with a superfluous diacritic in Greek. The first edition ELOT 743 and the UN systems place a diacritic on the Latin vowel for the sake of clarity. Apart from the diacritical marks native to Greek itself are used to romanize its characters. Linguists also regularly mark vowel length with macrons marking long vowels and rounded breves marking short vowels. Where these are romanized, it is common to mark the long vowels with macrons over the Latin letters and to leave the short vowels unmarked. Such macrons should not be confused or conflated with those used by some systems to mark eta and omega as distinct from epsilon, iota, and omicron. Numerals. Greece's early Attic numerals were based on a small sample of letters arranged in multiples of 5 and 10, likely forming the inspiration for the later Etruscan and Roman numerals. This early system was replaced by Greek numerals, which employed the entire alphabet, including the non-standard letters digamma, stigma, or sigma, tau, copper, and sampi. As revised in 2001, ELOT 743 provides for the uncommon characters to be given as $ for stigma, plus for copper, and for sampi. These symbols are not given lowercase equivalents. When used as numbers, the letters are used in combination with the upper-Kerala numeral sign to denote numbers from 1 to 900 and in combination with the lower-Kerala to denote multiples of 1000. These values are traditionally romanized as Roman numerals, so that alpha, lambda, epsilon, chi, alpha, nu, delta, rho, omicron, sigma, gamma, omicron, mu, alpha, kappa, epsilon, delta, omega, nu would be translated as Alexander III of Macedon and transliterated as Alexandros III make 10 rather than Alexandros G or Alexandros III. Greek laws and other official documents of Greece which employ these numerals, however, are to be formally romanized using decimal numerals. Punctuation marks. Ancient Greek text did not mark word division with spaces or interpuncts, instead running the words together. In the Hellenistic period, a variety of symbols arose for punctuation or editorial marking. Such punctuation variously romanized romanized, inserted, or ignored in different modern editions. Modern Greek punctuation generally follows French with the notable exception of Greek's use of a separate question mark, the erotomatico, which is shaped like the Latinate semicolon. Greek punctuation which has been given formal romanizations include uncommon letters. There are many archaic forms and local variants of the Greek alphabet. Beta, for example, might appear as round beta appointed throughout Greece but is also found in the forms, and even, well into the modern period, classical and medieval Greek was also set using a wide array of ligatures, symbols combining or abbreviating various sets of letters, such as those included in Claude Garamond's 16th-century Greg's Devoir. For the most part, such variants as and for pi, for sigma tau, and for kappa alpha iota are just silently amended to the standard forms and transliterated accordingly. Letters with no equivalent in the classical Greek alphabet, such as eta, meanwhile, usually take the nearest English equivalent but are too uncommon to be listed in formal transliteration schemes. Uncommon Greek letters which have been given formal romanizations include